Mm-hmm.
Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. We are live. Pick and Roll podcast. We are back after a week off.
Yeah, man.
That's right, man. Hold on. Let's share this up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Make sure people up. We actually gave this thing time to cook too. There's a lot to talk about, man.
Definitely a lot to talk about.
We definitely gonna get through it. We all watching the same stuff. We know what time it is out here. Let's see. All right. Let me go here. All right. So make sure y'all subscribe. Indio Media Group. That's what we want to focus on, man. Just hit the subscribe button. All right. When you go on YouTube, go to the Indio Media Group page. Hit the subscribe button. Just subscribe. We getting this going. Let's see. Drop this link. All right. All right. All right, share it up, tag it, share it up, tag it. Episode. Hold on, I got a few more people who told me to send them the joint. We definitely gonna get into the discussion today, but this is why I like being live, man. We could just be loose and free, and it's not all there. You know what I'm saying? Right away. But this is part of the thing, man. This is why we need like an intern. We need somebody. What is Dave doing?
David's getting ready for his junior basketball, his junior school basketball season.
Oh yeah, 8th grade, right?
Yeah, and the All-American joint.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's down in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so he made it.
Now, yeah, I'm still waiting for an email.
Oh, okay. But he had a good job at the workout?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Lil Dave, man. Your team got thrashed, but it's part of the game, baby. The losses make you a winner, man. You just got to learn how to move forward, man. That's what it is, man. I was really shaped by getting my ass kicked in sports. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, oh, Chris, you're fiery. You're competitive. Well, you got to get your ass kicked to know what you need to, you know what I mean? Like, you get tired of losing.
Yeah.
My nephew walks off the field in Pee Wee football. He was tired of losing. He said, I'm sick of this. I said, that's the attitude you got to have. Now, what are you going to do with that, right?
Right.
Like, just because you're tired doesn't mean the losing is going to stop. The people on the other side are still going to come to try to earhole you and put you in the turf.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it? And that's the thing, man. So that's the dopest thing about sports, I think. Like, it teaches you perseverance, determination.
Mm-hmm.
And you start seeing, like, I'm one of those people that truly believe people who don't play sports, they really have a tough time dealing with adversity, man.
Yeah.
All right. He said he can see us, but he can't hear us. Yo, what's up, Reggie? What's going on? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Because we hear ourselves, and I'm seeing sound register on the live feed. So let me know. Let me know. All right, we gotta he's saying he can see, but he can't hear. Let's see. We're gonna get this right though. Yeah, he hears us. Let's go. Episode 31, Pick and Roll Podcast. It's me, your boy Chris, and Super Dave. We are back from the week off.
Yo.
We are ready, man. We are ready. Listen, it was a big weekend in sports, big week in sports. You know, we had a lot of drama going on.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely no drama in the Buffalo Bills game at all. It was 5 touchdowns by Jonathan Taylor, who scored 60 fantasy points this week for somebody at my job. I'm lucky I didn't play that person.
Shout out to Salem, New Jersey, Jonathan Taylor.
Listen, man, shout out to Jonathan Taylor only for being from Jersey. That is it, man. That is it. That's all I'm giving him.
So you're going to give him?
Listen, man, it was embarrassing. My Buffalo Bills, that's my Super Bowl pick. The Rams, my Super Bowl pick. With Robert Woods going down last week and them having to depend on Odell, who's not up to speed yet, and I don't think it's going to be a big difference maker. And then with Buffalo just literally shitting the bed every other week, I shouldn't be cursing on here. But I don't know. I think we're frauds. I don't think we're ready for the prime time, man. Because I understand we had a couple of D linemen out. And we had Tremaine Edmonds out, but we still have a pretty solid defense all around. We're the number 1 defense in the NFL in like 19 categories. You can't give up 5 touchdowns to one guy or a running back at that. This isn't 1956. This is like 1933 Red Grange type numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like Earl Campbell, 1972.
Jim Brown.
Yes, this is Jim Brown. Jonathan Taylor looked like Jim Brown. I was so embarrassed to be a Bills fan because also too, we're a team that has become one-dimensional. I gotta go in on the offensive coordinator. I've been going in on him with the other Bills fans. We are one-dimensional. We can't run the ball.
They don't even try to run the ball.
We don't. We just throw 51 times a game. And then Josh Allen has somebody in his face as soon as he snaps the ball. We have a rookie who was a project right tackle that we drafted, right? Spencer Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He caught COVID this week. And the fact that the talent drop off from a rookie is down to like guys who shouldn't be in the NFL, it's that bad.
That's bad.
It's that bad. And then Josh is like forcing throws because there's literally no time to sit back there. But our coordinator's still drawing up long routes when we have Sanders, Diggs, Beasley, Dawson Knox. I don't understand what we're doing out there. I'm not sold that my pick is going to make it, but my pick is my pick. We don't change our picks over here.
No, we don't.
We don't change our picks mid-season. So it's bad, man. It's bad. But not as bad as the Giants, man, who fired Jason Garrett today. Let's talk about it, man. What did you see last night in the game that I barely watched?
You saw more by barely watching it than watching it.
Okay. Because I checked in and then it got out of hand. So I looked at the score and I was like, yeah, I'm not checking in this.
Yeah, we were like I was telling you earlier, we were down 10-3 and it was 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
We're in a shotgun. We run. Saquon goes out for a pattern. Linebacker picks him up. Kenny Golladay goes out. Safety's over top of him.
Yeah.
So then we had 3 receivers huddled up in the middle. Like, where is Daniel Jones gonna throw the ball?
Or to the sideline. He's gonna throw it out of bounds. Throw it away.
Yeah, he just threw the ball in the dirt and we punt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then it just never was. Nothing happened. Nothing good happened after that.
This is what my problem was with Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett, as the head coach of the Cowboys, I thought, like his management of the Cowboys' best years, like those Dez Bryant, Tony Romo years. That was a Super Bowl team had they had some, ingenuity and creativity on offense.
Right.
And that seems to be the problem. They've always had talent. They've just been vanilla on offense. And I was just like, I don't know, like Jason Garrett. I mean, this is it for him. This is the end of the road. I don't see him being a coordinator ever. He may have to go to college.
Yes, it's
because I don't know. Like, does he become like, I guess, a quarterback's coach or a positional coach, or
I don't know,
maybe some lower position on offense? But I thought y'all came out this season. I saw design runs for Daniel Jones. I saw like gadget plays. I saw a lot of stuff at the beginning of the season, and I understand there's injuries, but you would think the trickery would pick up with the lack of talent, and it went the opposite way. You guys got conservative.
It's like with Garrett, when something's working too well, we go away from it. Like there was games where, I want to say the Washington football game.
Yeah,
the design runs and the read options was working.
Yeah,
and then it was just like, we're gonna just stop it, and then. Now we're going empty, and then teams are just going zone, and we can't get anything. We get to the red zone, and then it's the same thing. It's run on first down, run on second down, a design run on third down, field goal.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You guys have a defense that can actually get off the field.
Right.
You got players that can actually get the other team off the field, 3 and outs, whatnot. It's just it's kind of disgusting to see. I didn't like Jason Garrett getting that job. If you're going to have a young quarterback, you need a young, fresh mind. Like, look at what Zach Taylor's doing with Joe Burrow. There's going to be ups and downs, but they never stop expanding the playbook and growing Joe Burrow. I just never thought they tried to grow Daniel Jones. And this is probably going to be the end of Daniel Jones in New York.
Probably.
I mean,
after last night, like he had both of his interceptions were like head scratchers, especially the one where we did I think we were going to try to do a wheel route with Saquon.
Yeah.
But then the linebacker was like kind of hedging over there. So it was like that would have been a tight throw.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had a tight end in the middle of the field, wide open, nobody near him. You throw it towards where Saquon would have been, but into the lap of a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
After that, I turned the channel. Like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, it's bad. So as a Giants fan, I want to know what would you like to see? Lose out, get the high draft pick, aim for the top pick. Or would you like to see them try to compete for the rest of the season? Because it's a 17-game season. This record is pretty bad.
Look, me and my friends talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
There's no point of losing out when the Lions are winless.
Yeah.
If we're not gonna get that
number one
that
pick,
number one, because I want the kid Thibodeau, the defensive end from Oregon.
Yeah.
If we can't get the number one spot and get him, then just play it out, because we're gonna have 2 first-round picks anyway. Ours and Chicago's. Both teams looking terrible.
Yeah, and Chicago's pretty bad. Oh, Matt Nagy. I saw a report today that they're going to fire him after the Thanksgiving game. They're going to allow him to coach one more game. I've never heard of that, but that's been the rumor. And even on at the Bulls games, they're chanting "Fire Nagy."
Mm-hmm.
So that's the report that came out today. We'll see if it follows through. But yeah, Matt Nagy getting fired after Thanksgiving. I don't even know why you would allow him to coach the Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
game.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I would just fire him now.
Unless you just don't want your team to get like embarrassed, I guess. I don't know. But you're gonna get embarrassed regardless. They stink. All right. So shout out to Reggie Driver and shout out to B Mac right now. B Mac called Jason Garrett Mr. Clapp.
That's it. That's his name.
Yeah, Mr. Clapp. And then Reggie says, same time as Mac Jones on top of your division, though, Chris. I will say this, right? We already know Bill Belichick. Here's the problem: how Mac Jones got on top of our division. Buffalo, this was the softest part of our schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We dropped that game to the Jaguars when we had like a 3-game lead in the division.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to the Jaguars 9-6.
9-6.
9-6. So nothing went right. Nothing went right. There was nothing to draw positive from that game. And then we dropped this game against the Colts. Now we're in the half game until New England gets their bye.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 2 games left against New England.
Mm-hmm.
Now both New England games are a must win.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Bills fan, you just kind of feel it coming like, oh, man, here we go again. We've given life to the one coach who has our number.
Yes.
You know, even though we smoked KC earlier this year, I'm worried because that's not the same KC team.
Right.
If we see them again, we're not going to see the same game plan.
Mm-mm.
But now we seem to be going the opposite direction or just stalling out, going neutral.
Right.
And that's my concern. So, and Mac Jones is not doing anything special. The Patriots are back to playing New England ball
Mm-hmm.
the way that Belichick did when he got there. He's running the rock, and they're playing good defense because they spent $100 million this season in salary alone on bringing in defensive guys. They brought in Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and don't even use them on offense.
Right.
Those guys get nothing. I watched the fantasy scores. They're pretty much run blockers, and the threat of them stretching the field opens up the run.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps safeties out the box.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. So I'm not going to give Mac Jones that credit. I'm going to give Bill Belichick and that whole coaching staff credit for managing Mac Jones.
Josh
McDaniels, guy, they managed Mac Jones. They got him surrounded with a bunch of solid players. But I think the ceiling is there this year because they don't have that number one receiving threat that can get separation on every down, right? Like, and Mac Jones doesn't quite have the arm to just beat you.
Right.
So that's what's going on in the AFC East. Let's talk about Vikings over the Packers. I want to know, did you catch any of that game?
A little bit.
Yo, listen, man. Minnesota's always my dark horse pick because they are one of the more balanced teams over the last 10 years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're never like, they're very rarely are they terrible. And to me, Dalvin Cook, when healthy, is the best running back in football. The best running back in football, hands down. I don't see anyone else that has as many tools as Dalvin Cook and is as effective out the backfield. What do you think? Do you think the Vikings can get their way into the conversation? They're 5-5. Green Bay 7-3.
No, that game didn't shock me because Minnesota always played Green Bay tough at home.
Yeah.
So it didn't shock me. And the Green Bay's defense was terrible because Aaron Rodgers carved Minnesota up.
Yeah. That was a Big 12 shootout.
Yeah, it was just the Green Bay defense letting them down.
Yeah.
It was that game pretty much came since the Vikings had the ball last. That game came down to who was going to have the ball last. If the Vikings would have scored sooner and left Aaron Rodgers some time, Green Bay would have won.
But see, here's the thing, right? Like Vikings fans, analysts, they always want to throw Kirk Cousins under the bus. Say he's holding the team back. But Kirk Cousins has playoff wins under his belt. Kirk Cousins, he's I mean, I don't know who else was out there, right? Like, there's no other quarterback option that was available to them at the time, so they had to go with what they had.
Right.
But they've gotten playoff runs out of Kirk Cousins, and now I'm not going to say they replaced Stephon Diggs, but they filled a void there with Justin Jefferson, and it allows Thielen to have the season he's having. along with Dalvin Cook doing what he does.
Minnesota might have the best receiver tandem in the
Ooh,
league.
that's better than Dallas?
They might.
Better than CD and Amari?
Yeah, they might.
Yo, Mac, man.
Man. They might have the two best.
Yeah.
Tandem.
I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. I'll say this. Buffalo, I thought, had a chance to have that, but right now it's just, I don't think it's their fault. There's a lot of things going wrong, but they're up there as far as receiving tandem. The Chargers have a good one.
Chargers have a good one.
They're just up and down.
Yeah,
they can't.
Yeah, they're not
week to
consistent.
week.
Yeah.
They gave up. So I picked them as my fantasy defense. They gave up almost 40 points to the Steelers, man. I said, what's going on here? I was like watching the house burn down in one of my fantasy leagues, just like, yo, what is happening to me this week?
People need to realize when you're playing the Steelers.
Max said mute this fool for saying that they got the best receiver tandem.
I said they might.
I mean, Mac doesn't agree at all, but continue on.
Who cares about with that?
I got you. Shout out to B Mac, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button.
He's only saying that because he's a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cowboys fan.
If he liked the Rams or the Buccaneers, he would agree.
Yeah, I got
but nobody worry about Mike. But Pittsburgh, Big Ben can only throw short routes.
Yeah.
So why people just jam the receivers?
I would drop 7.
Yes.
Drop 7 every play. Like drop 7. I mean, it's cool. Najee Harris, he's not gonna run for 250 yards on you.
No,
he's not gonna do what Jonathan Taylor did to Buffalo this week. Yeah, we're the only ones that give up 5 touchdowns to a running back. Like this is the Mountain West Conference. Man, I'm so disgusted. Buffalo, man. I can't stop going back to it. But let's talk about the Chiefs and Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Cowboys competed well. The score is, if you didn't watch that game, you would think that they just got manhandled. But they were a couple of plays away from beating the Chiefs without Amari Cooper. I'm telling you, Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback.
No.
Dak Prescott is top 5, man.
No.
He just made that one critical mistake before halftime when they got that ball back.
What makes you...
Listen, man. Dak Prescott, he gets it in. And they lost Amari Cooper on short notice. So you could tell that kind of affected them because they didn't quite... Their offense looked disjointed. They looked like they were trying to figure out exactly how they were going to attack.
What makes you say Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback?
Listen, man.
In this league.
Listen.
No,
look what he's doing this year. First of all, he shot it out with just about everybody except the game when he was coming back from injury. Let's not forget week 1 against Tampa. He shot it out with them. Dallas defense couldn't hold. But then when Dallas defense gave him a shot, that's why their record is. They're a pretty top team. They're a top team. I'm not going to say, like, the Rams were my Super Bowl pick, right? So we're talking about the conversation in the NFC, right? We're talking Tampa, Rams, Packers, Cowboys. That's my top 4 in the NFC right now.
You don't believe in the Cardinals yet?
I don't because, first of all, I don't know when Kyler Murray's going to come back. Mm-hmm. They have major injuries on that defense, and they still got to make this stretch run and be tested. They got to go on the road.
Right.
They're handling their business right now, and I respect that. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're going to have to.
They got the Rams coming up. So
they got the Rams coming up again.
I don't think it's this week, or it might be next after a bye or something. But they got the Rams again.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking smallish quarterbacks because sometimes they do work, but he's smallish in a different way, and I feel like when it gets to the playoffs, you start to see his struggles.
I get back to the Dak top 5.
Dak top 5, man. So my top 5 quarterbacks right now in the NFL. Let's talk about it. All right, so top 5 quarterbacks performing. I got to pull Josh Allen out of there because 2 out of 3 weeks, you didn't score a touchdown against the Jags, and you didn't do anything against even though it's not all your fault, I got to pull you out there. So this is like the update that you see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go Lamar Jackson because he's the sole reason that they're winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's up there in my top 5. We're going to go Patty Mahomes because he's rebounded.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to light things up again. We got to have Aaron Rodgers in there.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have, I'm scanning the divisions in my head right now. Okay. Listen, and this is why I say it. Who's having a standout season? At quarterback, we got to go Matt Stafford. Oh, no, we got to go Matt Stafford. Brady's throwing picks left and right. He's averaging 2 picks a game over the last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not playing top 5 football right now. Dak Prescott is playing better than all these guys consistently. I think he's a top 5 quarterback easily right now, and he's been that way the whole season.
Dak.
Hey, Mac, I'm holding y'all down right now.
Dak needs everything to be perfect around him.
But it hasn't been perfect.
He
Right?
needs everything to be perfect around him. He needs Amari to be there. He needs CD.
But I think this year
this.
he has the weapons that are needed.
Dak,
Given the fact that defense is not complete, give them one more draft, and the Cowboys are taking that division.
Just like what Shannon Sharp be saying, Dak gets a lot of empty calorie yards to where he'll be terrible the first 3 quarters, and then the last 5 minutes of the game when they're down 30-0, just like Denver. Dak had like 94 yards, down 30-0.
Yeah.
First of all, why is he still in the game when he just came off an injury? Down 30-0, why is he still in the game? Then the last 5 minutes of the game, he threw for like 150 with 2 touchdowns.
But they're 7-3, Dave.
I get it.
And they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to the Buccaneers, and they lost to the Broncos. And the Broncos was a tough game. It was coming off injuries. And they had a couple COVID guys.
Listen, I get it.
But
we can't say it's not hate because we saw it.
All right, I got you.
Because we saw it last year. I mean, not last year. Well, before he got hurt last year, he would light up the bad teams. He lit up the Giants. He lit up the Dolphins. He lit up the bad teams. Remember the year before that? He gave the Giants 300 yards, and then he was terrible against Green Bay. They were down 31-17 or something like that. And then when the game is pretty much out of hand, he balls out.
Cowboys are averaging 29 points a game this year. They've had 36 touchdowns this year so far. Their third down efficiency, they are 44%, which is solid. It's good to solid, for the whole year. Fourth down efficiency, 47%. I mean, their offense is moving the chains. They're staying on the field.
Bro. Look who they played.
All right, let's look at their schedule. We're going to look at their schedule because you got to play who's in front of you. And I think that applies here. So let's look at the Cowboys schedule this year, right? So far, they've beaten the Chargers. Are we going to say the Chargers are in competition? They've beaten the Eagles. We'll get to the Eagles in a minute. They've beaten the Panthers, who are 5-5, right? They've beaten the Giants. They've beaten the Patriots, who are now 7-4, I believe, 7-4. Patriots is 7-4, and they've beaten the Vikings, who are 5-5 right now. I mean, they lost to the Broncos. They absolutely decimated the Falcons. I've never seen a football game that shouldn't have been played more than that game. They should have canceled that game. I'm pretty sure they could have walked in the Falcons locker room and looked at their eyes and said, "Yeah, we're gonna call this one."
Right.
For player safety.
So when you play in teams like the Falcons and the Giants and the Eagles,
I mean, what are they supposed to do? Opt out for a better team?
No.
They're on the schedule.
No, I get it. They're on the schedule. You have to play the Giants and the Eagles.
And the Vikings just beat the Packers. This is what I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is when you're playing teams that got bad defenses, you better run the score up.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. But then when you're playing a good team, you really don't show up.
Patriots, their defense is starting to become a top 10 defense right now.
Why didn't
they run? They scored 35 points against New England.
What happened against Kansas City?
What happened against Kansas City? Amari Cooper was out with COVID just before the start of the game. That's tough. That's a tough matchup.
Kansas City has one of the worst secondaries in the league.
That's true, but they're playing better in recent weeks. And also, I told you, they came a couple of plays away from having that game. They lost 19-9. Let's talk about Dallas defense holding Kansas City to 19 points.
No, that's on my ticket. That was the only game that I lost because I picked that game to go over 55.5 points. And I said, this is the game where both defenses want to show up.
But Amari, I'm telling you, missing Amari on short notice, and now I think he's going to miss 2 games because he's not vaccinated, which is ridiculous.
Listen,
we don't want to talk about that. Amari kind of is hurting them right now, but not really because the NFC East is still trash.
Yeah, we're NFC trash.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the Chiefs secondary is playing well. What I'm saying is Spagnuolo has came to his senses and moved Chris Jones back inside.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, because having him at DN, I was like, he might be the slowest DN in
Right.
the NFL at 332 pounds.
So when you put him
Yeah.
inside and he's getting consistent pressure on the quarterback,
Right
that's
up the-
gonna make
right up the nose.
your secondary look good.
Look, I was proud of Dallas's defense because I've been hyping up Micah Parsons and Diggs and those guys. What they are, they're aggressive, right? And they make plays. They're not the best defense because they're still a draft away from building up and having their 3 to 4 year run at possibly winning Super Bowls, right? I have a feeling listen, I think the world of Dak Prescott, and I think you're selling him short. You are selling that man short. All right. But if you sell Jalen Hurts short, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, he stinks too.
Eagles are winning games, but this guy has the worst stat line for teams that are winning games handily.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts stinks.
I was like, man, this dude, I've never seen a quarterback in the modern era have 2 rushing touchdowns in a game and still only give you like 15 fantasy points because he hasn't thrown the ball at all.
But Jalen Hurts is now the second best quarterback in NFC East.
That is ugly. Well, I don't know because Tyler Heineke just won another game against the Panthers. Cam Newton came back, and that was a nail biter.
We're talking about the Panthers.
Yeah. But look,
okay, all right, we'll go.
What do you see happening with Cam there, though? Do you think he's good? He'll keep him in the playoff discussion.
Yeah, he'll keep him in the playoff
NFC
discussion.
South. I think the Saints are going the other way. Trevor Siemian might be the worst starting quarterback right now in the NFL, and they're about to give Taysom Hill the keys to the franchise.
Yo, did you see that extension he just signed?
That is ridiculous. I thought he just got a fat contract, but it was like based on whether he plays quarterback or not, and they just basically fixed it, right? Like you're the quarterback.
No, the deal he just signed, it's a new contract. They called it a hybrid contract.
What is this, man? He's a hybrid player. Why?
Yeah, so it's basically they're paying him off of the positions he plays. So they pretty much tallying all that into one.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. So if he plays quarterback more, he's going to get paid like a quarterback.
Yeah.
But if he plays tight end, which I think he really is, because he's like Tim Tebow 1.0. Like he's not that good to me.
Right. He just what was it, like 94 million he just signed for?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I know Jameis got hurt, but you got to have a passer in today's league.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you might as well just call Tim Tebow.
Might as well.
Yeah, he'll truck you to the playoffs in that division. Yeah, because the Buccaneers, they're not doing the best job at pulling away. Mm-mm. And but I'm just concerned about the Saints just running the read option on us or the triple option, and I don't know, man. We got that game on Thanksgiving.
They're gonna do the wing T.
Listen, hold on. I want to look at the Thanksgiving schedule right now, right? Because I'm gonna ask you, what's the worst game of the day on Thanksgiving? This doesn't look like a pretty solid week of football. Is it the Bears and Lions, or do the Cowboys just absolutely steamroll the Raiders?
I think the Bears and the Lions gonna be the worst game.
I'm not watching that.
I don't think I want to watch it.
Yeah, that's like watching 2 crackheads argue at a bus stop.
Yeah,
because somebody's leaving town.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never seen that. Might be the worst football game of the year.
I mean, the Cowboys and the Raiders, they have the potential. That has the potential to be a good game.
Yeah,
but it all depends on what Raider team show up.
Raiders are backsliding, man. I think the initial we're gonna stick together after everything, I think that's worn off now, and they're just starting to get smoked.
Yeah, I think it's the Gruden effect. Like once John Gruden resigned, that team just fell apart. Yeah, they had that one good game right after.
Yeah,
but I think they just if John Gruden was still their coach, they're not going on no slide right now.
No, a lot of things don't happen if John Gruden's still there.
And I think he was railroaded, but that's another story.
Well, let's talk about that because we were off last week. John Gruden is suing the NFL to release the rest of those emails.
Right, because out of over 600,000 emails, his was the only one that got pulled.
Yeah, as of right now, they're basically telling us John Gruden was being racist, talking to himself. He just kept sending messages to Bruce Allen like, yo, Roger Goodell's this. Michael Sam is this. I hate the NFL.
And I wasn't a head coach. I wasn't a part of the NFL then.
Yeah.
So, like, it's, but I'm like what the Raiders are doing. They're trying to get the rest of the emails
published.
Yes, like
because they're in a report. The
yeah.
report is just not public yet.
Yes, it's corny. Like don't like. I'm not defending what Gruden did or didn't do, but out of over 600 emails, like mine's are the only ones you pull out.
Right. And I think, see, this is going to backfire on Roger Goodell because he did this intentionally. Right?
Yes,
he aims. It's clear Gruden didn't say that because, or that because he just doesn't like Roger Goodell out of nowhere. I think Roger Goodell and the Raiders, Gruden and the Raiders organization had a vendetta against Roger Goodell. They don't like him.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't like DeMaurice Smith. I think Roger Goodell said, "Ooh, let's burn them. Let's force them to have to fire their coach."
Let's make an
and
example.
the Raiders have a lawsuit against them too,
Yes.
because they're saying you're forcing us to fire our coach and you're hurting our profits
in the middle of the season.
in the middle of the season. Yeah, you didn't have to release that. What was the point of releasing it? What did you gain from it? And I think it's going to backfire because once this lawsuit is done, we're going to find out why people hate Roger Goodell. We're going to get some background and some texture. So I think I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of tired of the politics, right? Like this is stuff, and I'm sorry, I'm that kind of sports fan. I don't really care about what John Gruden says to Bruce Allen. Now, if they're out there selling cocaine like Sam Hurd and starting up a cartel, I kind of want to know about that. If they're trying to start up the new, operation on the East Coast, but these guys, they're having conversations we know people have, and I didn't get a lot of stuff that directly affects me and how I feel about myself. Like I didn't get abject racism. I didn't get homophobia.
No,
he called Roger Goodell a name because he doesn't like the man,
right?
Not because there's anything intrinsically happening with Roger Goodell's lifestyle that we know of. Man got a wife and kids,
right?
So that word, it doesn't really apply unless you're just being disrespectful,
right?
John Gruden's from that school, so we know there's more to this story. So we're gonna find out. But in the Raiders, they still rock with John Gruden. They gave him his money.
Yeah,
they said, "Look, man, you got like 6 years left. We'll cash you out about 70% of that, but we're gonna go get that back from the NFL and sue the rest of the owners." I think that's what's about to happen here. But yeah, Thanksgiving, man. Thanksgiving. I don't see it. It was not any other. Baker Mayfield mad at the Cleveland fans. He was getting booed. How do you feel about that?
Baker Mayfield is showing everybody that he's not really good.
Well, he's got a bad back and his knee is messed up right now and his shoulder's busted. And, he's doing his best, man.
Baker Mayfield.
And there's no Jarvis Landry. He has a bunch of number 3 receivers out there.
Jarvis Landry's playing.
Oh, he's playing?
Yeah, he just, I watched that game. I watched a little bit of that game, and he was overthrowing Jarvis Landry by a mile.
Well, they said Baker, he took some bad hits these last 3 weeks leading up, and he's limping around. Baker, look, he's tough, man. He's a little guy, too. He's a smallest quarterback.
Baker's tough, but he's not that. It's time to look in the mirror. Like, Odell's not here. Now we can't use that excuse. He's not here no more.
Well, but they're playing well running the ball, too. Like, I just don't understand why people think Baker Mayfield has to throw 45 times.
But that's Cleveland. You got one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah, and you got a hell of an offensive line that run blocks.
You build your offensive line to run the ball.
Yep.
So stop trying to put the ball in Baker's hands.
Okay. And that's my take when I talk about Baker Mayfield. I think he's talented, but your team is not designed for him to just step back there and fire it up. You can get away with the air raid with Kyler Murray too, but also Kyler Murray plays in the dome 8 to 10 times a year.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's not out in the elements. You're in the AFC North. You're most likely going to play in cold weather from here on out.
Yes.
Your nice weather stopped in week 7.
Yeah.
It's over now, and it's a 17-game season. So you got to run that rock. But when he runs the play action, I want people to know, right? When people say Baker Mayfield's a bum and he's not good and all this, you have to be good to sell the play action. The quarterback has to sell the play action.
No, I disagree.
Part of that is the quarterback selling the play action.
I disagree.
Especially on the rollout and the bootleg.
I disagree.
Because you got to freeze that linebacker, that man in coverage.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree.
Talk about
because look at Tennessee. Without Derrick Henry, that play action doesn't have that same bite.
Well, but I don't think Ryan Tannehill is as good as a pure thrower as Baker Mayfield.
But
Baker Mayfield's a much more
even if he's
got a better arm than Ryan Tannehill.
Even if he's not, the fact that you have Nick Chubb back there, if you just put it out there and you act like you're gonna give him the rock, the defense gotta draw to the run.
Oh man, he said Baker Mayfield's the new Mark Sanchez. Shout out to Reg for the most hateful comment of this podcast.
He might be on to something.
That's crazy. Mark Sanchez?
He might be on to something.
No.
Shout out to Reg.
Baker brought it last year in the playoffs against KC. They came up a couple plays short because they just didn't have the talent. But Baker brought it. That was one of the best games of the NFL year.
It was, but Kansas City's defense is not.
But last year, their defense was better.
They're not the 2000 Ravens.
Defense was a lot better last year. And Cleveland, listen, man, Baker brought it last year. This year, it's been a tougher year. They got a lot of injuries. You got a lot of stuff they're dealing with, man. And then you got, I told you, no Dell Beckham. I don't believe in him. I don't think Cleveland plays better without him because they don't have to feed the beast. There's such a thing of that. There's such a thing as getting rid of a guy who's a cancer in the locker room.
I don't think
divas come and go in the NFL.
Like, I'm not going to say he's like a cancer in the locker room because this is the same when Minnesota traded Randy Moss to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Went to the Raiders. People forgot about him.
But he was still having a hell of a season with no players over there. Like, Randy Moss was putting them numbers.
But because he was the team was pretty much built around him.
Yeah.
Like Odell went to Cleveland. He went to a running team.
Was it Randy Moss catching passes from Tuiasosopo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. But Odell went to Cleveland, so he basically went to a team that was built to run the ball.
Red said he got you on this one. He says Baker Mayfield's the new Mark Sanchez. And he said last year, yeah, he sucks this year. It says, so why didn't the Giants benefit from Odell being gone? I think they did. The Giants haven't. What has Odell done since he's left? He hasn't had a good season in 5 years. He's 30 years old. He's on a bad knee. He's the John Wall of football. He's a contract now. He's more of a contract than a primetime player. I can name 30 receivers in the NFL that are better than Odell Beckham Jr. And a couple of them, one of them plays for the Giants. Your best receiver is better than Odell. Terry McLaurin is better than Odell. I'm not even sure Odell is that much better than Devontae Smith right now.
Reg, we won that trade for Odell.
Yeah, and Dallas Cowboys have 3 receivers better than Odell. Because my thing about Odell, he doesn't run all the routes. He doesn't go across the middle. He has a big case of the dropsies because you got to be able to depend on the guy when it's 3rd and 5, and I need that slant route, that quick slant. I need you to hold on to that. The Browns lost the game 3-4 weeks ago, right after, and then Odell complained, but the week before, he dropped 2 critical 4th down passes in the second half. No one wants to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been gone off the scene of being a primetime player. He has no signature games, no signature performances since catching a ball behind his head. And the gloves did most of the work. I'm just going to be one of those people to say it. It's the gloves.
He caught it with 3 fingers.
Because the gloves, they.
I'm not gonna say it's the gloves because he catches stuff like that in pregame without the gloves.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a highly competitive game. But when it was time for his signature moment in the playoffs and time for him to elevate, he went on a party boat.
Yeah, he let us down. He let us down. He let us down. He ain't been nothing since Eli.
Exactly, and that's my thing. It's like, you know what? 2 things can be true. We can say Baker Mayfield is struggling, which he is. He's also beat up and hurt. But we can also say Odell is no longer that top receiver. And now with Robert Woods being down, you're going to see the pressure's on you because you can't have Cooper Kupp being bracketed the entire game or Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford's no longer mobile. So you cannot have Cooper Kupp being bracketed the entire game. Odell's going to have to be a volume catching receiver. You're going to need 7-8 catches from Odell every game.
Let's just see how this week come up because that was his first game with the Rams. He only had 2 practices.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like we could give him a pass for that first game.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give him a pass for the first game. I'm just telling you.
Let's just see how it go. So what if the Rams go on and win the Super Bowl or at least get to the Super Bowl?
Look, they're my Super Bowl pick. I want to see them run the ball. I need to see their running game really come back to life because a couple years ago when they were really good with Jared Goff, people forget Chris Anderson when Todd Gurley's knee finally degenerated to the point of nothing. It was Chris Anderson carried them to that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people don't, and then also too, one thing they're going to lose without Robert Woods is run blocking on the edges. Robert Woods is one of the grimiest receivers ever. He's the modern day Hines Ward. If there's a guy who may not have the numbers, but I want him to go in the Hall of Fame, it's Robert Woods. Because he runs every single route as if he's getting the ball, and he's finishing blocks 12 yards down the field, slapping guys in the ear hole, grabbing face masks, cursing people out. He's also running the ball. He plays running back sometimes. He runs a lot of sweeps.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, jet sweeps and things like that. That's what I think that they're really gonna miss. There's a lot of leadership that's going off that roster with Robert Woods gone.
Look, let's just see how they go, how Odell plays, and how the Rams play as a team.
Yeah,
next game, and I mean we'll go off that. But I think that first game was just they were just filling each other out.
All right, so let's touch on boxing. Terrence Crawford, decisive victory over Sean Porter, stopped him in the 10th round TKO. I want to get your thoughts. So leading into the fight, is that the result you expected?
Yeah.
So Terrence Crawford,
I didn't think he was going to knock him out because nobody knocks out Sean Porter.
I thought he was going to punish him. I thought it was just going to be abject punishment.
Yeah, I thought he would drop him.
Yeah.
At least once, but I thought it was going to go to a decision. I thought it was going to be a unanimous decision.
Yeah. I thought it was just going to be a 9-3.
Yeah.
And I knew Sean Porter was going to come out and wild out the first couple rounds, but eventually Crawford will settle him down.
Yeah, it's like watching a fight. The announcers was really trying to sell to the people that Sean Porter was in the fight or winning the fight.
Yeah,
like they was really trying to sell it.
I couldn't understand what the announcers were talking about because Sean Porter was there to like brawl and like dirty up the fight and muck it up.
Yeah.
And one thing I got to give Terrence Crawford was I don't think he's ever been tested like that. That was like the dirtiest, muckiest fight he ever faced. It was headbutts, elbows, headlocks. He didn't get zapped of energy. He wasn't affected. He didn't back down at all. And then he started to come forward in the middle to later rounds.
Yeah, that's Terrence Crawford for you. Like watching his fights, even when he's fighting no names, like what people would be saying.
Yeah,
he's a slow starter.
Yeah.
So he's just sort of like Canelo. I'm just gonna fill you out, and then once I figure you out, and I know like your punching power is not gonna affect me, I'm gonna slowly take this fight over.
Sean Porter was gassed at about round 6 or 7, and my brother texted me. I thought about it. I said, man, I think Porter's done. And my brother texted me like, yo, Porter's about to get knocked out. It's about to be a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10th round, it was gone. I just thought Porter wasted too much time throwing haymakers. Like his head is down and he's throwing windmills, just trying to get in there to make body contact.
Yeah.
And to throw a shoulder, a head, an elbow. I thought it was pretty ridiculous, man.
And I like Crawford stuck to his game plan.
Yeah.
He didn't try to like go blow for blow with Sean Porter. He just I was watching the fight with BMAC, and Crawford started to zap Sean Porter's energy by just little timely body shots.
Oh man, he was hurting him.
It was just like
counter punching.
Yes, just like
that's what I think Errol Spence was afraid of, because that's Errol Spence's strength, is that counter punching.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of that in him. But when I saw Terrence Crawford do it, I said, this is why Errol Spence was injured. And I like Errol Spence. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy, even though he almost killed himself in that car wreck. I'm a guy that likes Errol Spence, but I wanted Terrence Crawford because I remember I said this. He needs that signature win.
Right.
It wasn't for me. I know how great he is.
Right.
But he needed to really dominate somebody like Sean Porter.
For the analysts.
Yeah, so there's no discussion. There's no other fight to schedule. Don't send Boxcar Joey at me. Don't send somebody from, Peaks. I don't know, from anywhere. Plainsboro. I don't want to fight nobody but Errol Spence.
Mm-hmm. That's
the only fight we have and left. And I think there's money in that fight.
It is.
And now Bob Arum's out of the picture. I think we're going to get the spectacle we need.
No, he's still in the picture.
No, I thought Crawford left Arum, right? Mm-hmm. Or that was the talk that he was going to leave. Okay, yeah. I could see Arum getting cut out of this one because the fight needs to happen, man. And I think everyone needs it.
It definitely needs to happen. But like Crawford said, he's been calling out the people that he want to fight, and they use Sean Porter as a pawn because they know he's willing to fight anybody anywhere.
Yeah, he'll take the money. Pacquiao.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just jumped in there and fought him. And like Crawford said, I did not want to fight Sean Porter. Everybody know who I want to fight.
Yeah.
They just don't want to give them to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So now my thing is, here's what I'm afraid of. They already didn't want to fight Crawford, and then now he did Sean Porter like that. He knocked out a guy nobody has ever knocked out.
Yeah, stop.
And Sean Porter been in the ring with
TKO.
Sean Porter been in the ring with Errol Spence, and all the guys that Crawford is trying to get, Sean Porter been in the ring with him. So now that he knocked him out, now I think everybody's gonna fall further back. Like, nah, we
don't want to. We don't want to do this.
We'll fight 5 years.
Yeah, let
later.
this guy get old.
Yeah.
But I don't think Spence can avoid it now. I think the reputation damage will be a little too much.
Yeah,
like because at this point it'll be ridiculous. You're not Mayweather. You don't get to call that. You have to fight Terrence Crawford. You're just going to have to get it on. What were your thoughts about the stoppage? A lot of people, there was a lot of controversy. Do you agree with his dad stopping it after that second knockdown?
Yeah and no. Like the warrior in me, it's like I beat the count. I got up. The ref did an 8 count. Asked me that I want to continue. I'm fine.
Yeah,
but like me and B-Mac, we talked about this. But what his dad saw is what we all saw. His dad stopped the fight for what was about to happen.
Exactly. Before it got worse.
Yes.
I totally agree with it because he literally had nothing left. Skill, power. There was nothing left in those gloves. And first of all, Terrence Crawford was laughing at him in the 8th round.
Yes.
Every time he hit him. Now it's about to be punishment for the 11th, for the rest of the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th round. That's when real damage is done. As a father, I'm not going to sit there and watch that.
Right. Now, I'm not a fan on the explanation his father said. I'm not a fan of that, saying pretty much throw him under the bus.
Yo,
he didn't prepare.
Mac is rough. He said let him go out on the shield. So
that's what we were talking about.
I'm not letting my son go out on his shield. I'm sorry. I'm not watching my son get ALS, in a boxing ring. I'm sorry.
And I heard reports that Sean Porter retired.
Oh yeah, he should retire. I mean, there's nowhere else for him to go. He said he doesn't want to be the guy out there chasing fights, just taking any old fight. He doesn't want to be Pacquiao.
Right.
We don't know what Pacquiao's quality of life is going to be at this point. How many punches has he taken? We've seen the guy slow down. Shout out to Darius Reeves for coming. He says everyone knew Porter was washed. Porter knew he was washed. He took that fight for the money. I think Porter took it. I think the money played a factor, but Porter likes to get in there. He wanted it.
Like I
said,
he's
a dog. He's a dog.
He's definitely a dog.
Disrespect Porter right now.
And that's why I said they knew Sean Porter is going to fight anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Here, you want Crawford? Go get him." And then Sean Porter was like, "Oh," and that's probably going to be the biggest money he's going to get.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can say one hand he did it for the money, and on the other hand, it was just like, I mean, y'all know I'm gonna fight anybody. We could fight in somebody's backyard. Like,
right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. And I respected it.
There's no debate now that Terrence Crawford is the best welterweight fighter in boxing right now. There's no debate.
I think the best 2 boxers in boxing overall are him and Canelo.
Yeah, it's no debate.
Yeah. This is a great. This is a great time to watch both of these guys fight.
Now, whenever if they ever start to talk about Crawford Spence, now Crawford wanted 50-50 or 60-40 his way.
Yeah.
Before Spence laughed at him. Now it's like 60-40 Crawford way is doable.
Nobody's paying $70 to watch an Errol Spence tune-up fight. I'm not watching that.
And but right, I'm not gonna pay. I've never paid for fights ever again. But
yeah.
Crawford, I mean, Spence said he's not gonna take no tune-up fight. When he comes back into the ring, he's gonna fight a name.
I will say this. So we talked about what Sean Porter's father said in the ring, right? You don't agree? You think his dad kept it too real in the ring?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he kept it too real. Don't say, oh, like
it was momentary frustration. He got Ben Simmons after the fight.
don't say, oh, my son didn't prepare the way we wanted him to. Don't throw him under the bus.
He said this is what happens when you get to a certain level, and you don't have to listen to nobody.
Right, like.
But if anybody could say that to you, it's your pops.
It's your pops.
Yeah,
but say like we got off the game plan.
I wouldn't throw my son under the bus, especially when I had just had to save his life. he's probably hearing things, and
Right.
his ears are probably ringing
Yeah,
right now.
I would have went that route. Like, I mean, the game plan, like we went off the game plan, and I mean, he capitalized and took advantage.
Yeah.
I would have said something like that. Not my son didn't prepare the way he should. Like, don't do that.
Yeah. It was a great fight to watch. I enjoyed it. There's very few boxing matches I really enjoy. So we'll see what happens, man. 2022 though, that fight has to happen. We got the whole 12 months to look forward to it, and I think it'd probably be a perfect fight, for April or May.
But I got a question.
Yeah.
If that fight happens, what's next in welterweight?
I mean, Terrence Crawford clearing it out. That's it.
Like,
Let's get it on.
But
if he wins, whoever wins, yeah. But actually, you'll have the rematch, the saga. Crawford spins 2 and 3 because nobody's gonna beat either of them. They're clearly the best 2 in that division.
Mm-hmm. But that's my only downfall. I mean, that's my only concern. If that fight was to happen, like where will we go after that? Like,
boxing needs to bring back the trilogy. Ali Frazier. You're not going 15 rounds no more. These guys can fight each other.
The Mickey
again.
Ward and Arturo Gatti.
Exactly. Like Marquez Pacquiao. You never know what's going to happen. There's a surprise in every box. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I like. Like, bring back the trilogy. Bring back, so the next big fight we got coming up is Fury, and Joshua has to fight his way back, right? He's got to beat
he got to defeat Usyk again.
Usyk again to get Fury, and Fury has a tune-up fight coming. But let's say that fight ends. Do you want to see Fury Joshua again after they fight this first time? And who do you have in that fight? Because that's what I think. A heavyweight needs a trilogy for boxing to survive. They got it with Fury and Wilder, and I thought that helped keep the sport going.
So, out of Joshua and Usyk, if Joshua wins that fight, I mean, it's probably gonna have to be a third fight because then there will be 1-1. But I think if we already know the rematch is gonna happen. I think it's gonna be the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I think Usyk is a boxer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's not a brawler. So he's gonna go in there thinking smart. Like, he knows Joshua doesn't have a chin.
Yeah.
So he knows he's a pretty boy.
Yeah, he's a boxing model.
Right. So he just knows, like, if I tap his chin a few times, like, he's gonna be wobbly, and then I'm gonna be able to do what I want. Same thing he did in the first fight. I wasn't surprised that he lost.
Anthony Joshua's an R&B heavyweight. You know what I mean? He's just smooth. He's not here for the rough stuff.
Right.
He's just here to sing you a song.
Yeah, smooth jazz.
Exactly. He's the usher of boxing. All right. So let's get to this, man. Main event of this podcast, man. The heavyweight fight that never happened. LeBron James versus Isaiah Stewart. We almost had Malice in the Palace Part 2. I talked to somebody in a chat with some folks from Detroit who were at the game. They said folks started throwing stuff on the court and they had to tell people to chill out.
Yeah.
Detroit was ready to get live.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That to me, that's what's going to bring the NBA back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to bring the older generation back to it. All right. So let's break it down, right? Lakers are down 12. Third quarter. LeBron has 10 points, like 5 assists, 0 rebounds. He's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers down 12 in the third quarter with 5 minutes left.
To Detroit.
Mm-hmm. One of the worst teams in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There's no promise for that roster either. It's bad. Going back to LeBron's hit, I'm gonna ask you: was it intentional?
I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was intentional.
First of all, Westbrook is a custer. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
shout out to Reggie. He said Westbrook on the undercard versus whoever.
Yeah, he's a clown.
It was Westbrook versus building staff.
Yeah, Westbrook is.
Come on, man. Versus the janitor.
I think it's kind of hard. Like, watching it a few times, it kind of did look like LeBron. Like they were like jostling for position off the free throw.
Right.
But it did look like LeBron kind of like looked and seen who it was and was like, get off me.
It was a closed fist.
It was
a closed fist.
It was.
He got pushed off and he already dislodged from Isaiah Stewart. He was already going the other way. He turned, he looked, and he swung, man, with a tight fist.
It was.
Listen, man. Listen. I saw a lot of people trying to protect the king. And I'm very disappointed in people because, listen, we've all played basketball. Everybody in this chat has played basketball. You've played basketball. We've all played physical basketball. We've all been lined up on those blocks.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's supposed to happen and what's not supposed to happen. We know that if you want to pop somebody, you got to pop them in the ribs, or you got to pop them with your hip. You got to get up underneath them. You got to get low. Low man wins. It becomes, a phone booth at that point, and you want to get your position, and there's a way to do it. You can even shove a guy in the lower back a little bit, right? But once you come above the shoulders, that's an act of war. And when he balled that fist up and followed through with the elbow and then swung that fist when he looked at him, that to me was intentional, and it deserved Bad Boys Pistons treatment for the rest of that Lakers roster.
Yeah.
I mean, we're from the old school. I'm clear. I understand what the NBA wants to avoid.
Yes.
But at some point, I have to care about my teammate. I can't play in a league with you. Watch that happen to you. You already know I know how to foul, right? I know how to foul hard, but not hurt you. Nobody's coming back down the other end. Yo, first fast break. Kurt Rambis, clothesline out of midair. I'm coming. It's not even, listen, we're fighting. I'm getting thrown out that day. Like, the Pistons are very nice guys for watching their man face split open and watching him go down and not stepping up. Somebody should have at least shoved LeBron in the chest for them or for him while he was face down on the ground.
You're right. You are.
I thought that was absolutely intentional. I don't think there's a mistake. This guy's been in the league 18, 19 years. There's no way that something like that happens and you don't mean to do it. This is what happens to old guys at the end of their career when they can no longer give it back to you on the court, when their skills don't elevate them past the young bulls in the game, and you're just basically a slow power forward now, right?
At me next time.
No, I'm just saying, this is what happens. You got to, and then your frustration sets in. This is a frustrating season for LeBron. If I had to look at Malik Monk and Wayne Ellington on the floor with Rondo and Westbrook, I'd be frustrated too. I'm probably going to get ejected. I'm probably going to push a ref or something. I'm going to start speaking out and getting fines, just pleading for calls or something. But I'm not going to punch a guy in the face on the block.
Yeah, that was
an elbow and a punch. I want people to understand the gravity of what happened. He split his eyebrow open. That probably caused like 20 stitches because that was more blood. He looked like Ken Shamrock.
It was 5.
Well, listen, bro. I saw a lot of blood, and his mouth was bloody.
Yeah.
The mouth was from the fist. The eyebrow was from the elbow. Come on, man.
Like, I'm surprised. I am surprised the NBA suspended LeBron. Because of the game that's on the TV right now.
Yeah.
Lakers at the Garden.
Yeah, Lakers at the Garden. Yeah.
Like, you only come to the Garden once a year.
Remember, guys used to appeal it so they could get that important game off, and then get
suspended
against the Wizards.
Yeah.
I don't. The Washington doesn't need to see me.
I kind of thought they weren't going to suspend them because the Knicks game was coming up.
Yeah,
but like I'm shocked they suspended him. But I'm glad. Now, how it's a. Both players got suspended.
Darius said Russell put him up Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook looked like one of them drunk Irish pub fighters.
Yeah, for the 1920s.
Yeah,
put him out.
Yeah,
like Three Stooges
That's
in the
it.
boxing ring. Yeah,
but it was LeBron got 1 game. Isaiah Stewart got 2 games.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that both of them get suspended, but then the Morris and Jokic only 1 got suspended.
Right. Oh, well, no. Morris had whiplash.
Oh.
He had whiplash, so he was out. His neck hurt. He had a boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was ridiculous. But I think this is the first time I've ever seen somebody get bloodied on the court and get more time than the other guy. I understand you bull rushed. He did look like Jonathan Taylor running through the Bills defense because he trucked the coach. What's my man name? I really love that coach. My man won Coach of the Year and got fired.
Dwayne Casey?
Dwayne Casey. He trucked Dwayne Casey, trucked like 3 equipment managers, Cade Cunningham, Jeremy Grant. He might be in the wrong sport. He might be in the wrong sport. He trucked everybody. And, it took like 9 people to stop him. But I understand that. But when your face is leaking, how can you expect a guy
to react?
I'm sorry. And then, I feel like, so this is what I listened to Steve Smith talk about it live as it happened. When it first happened, it was on NBA Game Time, and they did the breaking news.
Mhm.
We're going to go into Detroit now where a fight is breaking out over this. And he says, yeah, it looks like Isaiah Stewart went up to LeBron. He asked him what's up with that, and he didn't get the answer he wanted.
Mhm.
So that's when he started wilding. And then you got Westbrook put him up in the background.
And then he looked up at the big screen and saw his eye leaking, and then he just lost it.
Yeah, the blood's filling up in your mouth. Like, come on, man. And then, there's a lot of people making excuses for LeBron. Like, oh, he's a nice guy. He wouldn't do this. Oh, why would he hit that young player? Listen, frustration is a mother.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
It happens. Guys are just tired. You know what I'm saying? They're frustrated.
Yes.
They're tired. Listen, he's got to look at Malik Monk. Imagine you needing a 3 at the end of the game, and all you see is Malik Monk.
Or Kent Bazemore.
Kent Bazemore. That's like coming out the house. You know you got to get to work, but you know there's a nail in your tire, and you're like, man, I got 20 miles to go, and I don't get paid till Friday.
I'm driving.
Yeah, I'm going to have to drive this car, even though I don't want to drive this car because I'm on my second write-up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. The Lakers are on their pink slip right now. I just thought that LeBron should have got however many games you were going to give Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
LeBron James can miss 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think the NBA is going to shut down. I don't think it's going to bankrupt the league. LeBron can sit down for a couple games.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think they both should have got 2. If LeBron got 1, then I'm going to suspend Isaiah Stewart for 1.
Yeah, exactly. 1 game, but I would have heavily fined both people. Like, Isaiah Stewart, you can't act out like that. You're not King Kong. We understand, but you got to give us $50,000.
Mhm.
LeBron, you can't sock people in the face. I'm going to need $75K from you, rich man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Space Jam 2, I'm going to go ahead and need that because it ain't make more than $75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and take Space Jam 2 profits.
Mm-hmm. We're going to split that.
Exactly, man. So it's just, and we're looking at the Lakers and the Knicks right now. Lakers made a comeback because the Knicks, they without the Kemba Walker's not in there tonight, but they're still missing that the score with the complete game. They need a wing player. I'm not sure what the Knicks, who the player is out there that they need, but they need a certified volume scorer because they let this game slip away. They were up by 20 when we started this podcast.
Yeah.
And now it's a tie game in the third quarter.
That's what the Lakers are becoming. They'll get down.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why they lose a lot of games because they're down and then they use so much energy to get back.
Yo, Darius told me to watch my mouth about the Knicks. Red says they should have kept Caruso and traded for Buddy Hield instead of
Russell. They should have did that Buddy Hield trade.
Buddy Hield is better than Malik Monk,
Bazemore,
and Rondo put together. He's gonna have a bigger impact than all of those guys.
Trevor Ariza, who hasn't played yet.
Trevor Ariza I didn't even see him on the bench. Is he even traveling with the team?
Yeah, is he? No, I don't think he's traveling with the team. I know. I saw him on the bench. Who was the last game the Lakers played when they were home and they Chicago?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that game and then Trevor was on the side. He was on the bench and we were up by like 1 million and it was like 5 minutes left and then LeBron was like, all right, I'm out of here. And I didn't see him on the bench anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. That was the thing too. It's like I just back to this fight. I thought Russell Westbrook was a sucker for trying to act like he wanted to fight. I thought Melo was a little extra tough, and we saw all the clips afterwards. Anthony Davis going up there like, oh, we're not going to keep letting them run at our teammate. Then why didn't you do something? You were right there. During the charge, you stood right there and allowed somebody to Jeff Van Gundy your left foot.
Yeah.
I was just like, come on now. I don't, all the toughness needs to stop, but LeBron has to be held accountable. Everybody's got to be held accountable in that situation. I've never seen so many people stand up and try to defend LeBron on social media.
The Lakers are becoming a fake tough guy team.
That's the only way they're going to do it, by just, and this is the frustration thing I've seen from LeBron these last couple of years. Last year he pushed Embiid out of midair and Embiid fell on his tailbone, and no one said nothing. You got a flagrant for it, flagrant one, but it was clearly a dirty play. He just walked up and shoved Embiid because he was down there housing all the rebounds. He was dominating, and then You heard what he said to campaign because the Suns were smacking him earlier this year. Oh, you're a bum. You didn't even have a job a couple years.
Yeah,
You better be
humble yourself.
Yeah, no, he's whooping your behind right now. He's destroying your team. Your team is bad. DeAndre Jordan is being backed up by Dwight Howard. This is what's happening. Those two guys combined age is like 75. And they're 85 years old in basketball years. These guys they have no lateral movement on the post. I'm not understanding why they got rid of Andre Drummond. As a Sixers fan, I thank them.
Look,
he averaged 15 and 12 last year by himself. You can't get 15 and 12 out of your 3 backup centers.
This team it's very clear that this team was built by LeBron.
Yeah.
And when the trade happened to get Westbrook and everybody, I'm not going to say the real Laker fans, but all of the fake Laker fans, aka LeBronians, they were, oh, we got Westbrook, we got Brody, da 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 da. Now they still didn't address.
Shaking my head.
They didn't address the need for a shooter.
I think I shoot better than at least 5 players on that roster.
Because last season the Lakers were at the bottom of the league as far as 3-pointers.
Yes.
And then people were saying, oh, Bazemore shot 40-some% last year. Ellington shot 40. Yeah, when you're not shooting that many threes, your percentage is gonna be high. When this fails, because I don't think they're winning the championship.
No. They might be a playing team.
When this fails, it's gonna go back to what everyone always says about LeBron. He needs more help.
Oh, yeah, always. Oh, man, the guy needs help. And it might be time for him to walk away from the game or leave that team and go somewhere else.
But I hate it because when they make a trade or sign a free agent to get him this help, remember in Cleveland,
yeah,
when they at the trade deadline, when they made that mass trade deadline deal to get everybody out of there and got a whole new team. When they made that trade, guys like Jalen Rose, guys like Jay Will, all the analysts, oh, this team can compete with Golden State now. They're younger, they're more athletic. And then when they got to the finals and Golden State smoked them, it was this team wasn't that good. Like, what is it? Make up your mind.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm going on, I'm going in. Every time the whatever team LeBron's on make a change, he's getting the players that he wants.
And they exhausted one of the best draft young player capitals I've ever seen.
Yes.
Look what Julius Randle's doing. Almost a near max player. Look what, and I knew that from living in Atlanta, watching SEC basketball. I was like, this guy is a man amongst children. Like they were triple teaming him, and he was still getting 18 rebounds in a college game. I was like, I've never seen this. 3 people would walk away from the shooters and just stand around Julius Randle and grab his arms. And he would just power through them like Thor. And then you had Lonzo Ball. Look what Lonzo Ball's doing now. Kyle Kuzma's having a season in Washington. He's a player. He's a player. You know, Larry Nance, he's a contributor.
Yeah.
All of these guys, Josh Hart, score. Brandon Ingram, score. Everybody they traded away is everybody they needed. I wrote a very long article 3 years ago when LeBron got there. I said, you can't. Signing LeBron means don't give in to his demand. If you were going to get AD, just wait till the offseason and add him to those guys. Because then you do beat Golden State. Then you beat KD in Golden State. You know, you have that opportunity. You have the opportunity to run the table out west. 4-4-4. You could have done that. Now, but that's the thing. Oh, well, is LeBron going to have to change his game? No. And why wouldn't you want youth to carry you? Are you happy with your touches and your role as master and commander of all things basketball? Or do you want to win basketball games and allow your youth to carry you so you can manage yourself throughout the season? I'm questioning LeBron's motive, because why would you do that? You went to a team that was stocked with young talent. And if you're this great basketball mind, develop these guys. This is your last contract. It's your last team.
Yes.
You're supposed to be here at least 5 years. You had 3 years already. You could have been developing these guys. They said Lonzo Ball couldn't shoot. Now he's well over 40%, and he's draining everything wide open.
He killed the Lakers.
This is what I'm talking about. The Lakers, and now you got Anthony Davis here. He's the best player on the team. Carmelo Anthony on this roster is your third best player on this team. There's LeBron and Anthony Davis are the two best players on the team, and Carmelo is third, and there's not even a fourth. Everybody else is 10th because they stink. And this is the problem with LeBron. This is the LeBron effect working in reverse ever since they got that ring in Cleveland.
I have
a GM has to be able to do their job.
I have a problem with Anthony Davis as well.
Always hurt.
Because he's always hurt. And then this year, when LeBron was out with injury or rest, however they want to say it,
yeah,
Anthony Davis has not stepped up to be one of the best players in the league. Like we know he can be.
He doesn't look like New Orleans Anthony Davis, and I was disappointed.
Right.
Because I went back to one of my posts when I used to write my long editorials. I would say, Anthony Davis is a top 4 player in this league, but you can't exhaust your roster to get him because so I was listening to NBA radio this week. They killed Anthony Davis for not competing the other night. Who did they play? Premier Big Man. And Anthony Davis, he got rolled over. Oh, I have to pick this up. I gotta look this up because they killed Anthony Davis. And I said, these guys must have never watched Anthony Davis. He doesn't guard other premier bigs.
No.
They hide him. They slide him to guard 3s and 4s and let him chase guards and talk about how versatile he is. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid has 36 and 19 on him. Or even Nurkic has tons of buckets against Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't want to play the 5.
Yeah, exactly. Who was it the other night?
The Celtics.
It was the Celtics game. No. It was the game before the Celtics game. Oh man, it'll come to me, man. It'll come to me.
But game before the Celtics, they played the
Bucks.
Yeah,
he didn't even guard Giannis. That's what it was. He didn't even guard Giannis. And I told people this has been Anthony Davis's thing ever since he's left New Orleans. They hide him on defense and they go get some old guy to sit there and soak up fouls. And then if the other team goes big, Anthony Davis, he sits down. He sits down until that lineup is tired.
That was my thing too. Watching that game against Milwaukee, it was like you are supposed to be one of the best bigs, one of the best players in the league right now.
Okay.
And then you're playing Milwaukee, the defending champs, and the 2-time MVP.
Right.
Y'all play the same position.
Y'all do.
He's coming right at you, and you have no answer.
No, you're not even putting your body in the line.
No answer. No answer at all. So like watching that, I gotta take a back seat from you when we talking about the best bigs in the game or one of the best players in the game. Like I gotta take a back seat because when someone at your position is challenging you directly, it's not like we got Giannis guarding or this guy's guarding Giannis and then you're over here and then you're killing him, he's killing you. No, he's killing you head up.
Yeah.
He's coming right at you.
Because Anthony Davis is not a big to me.
No.
He's a big only because he's tall.
Yeah.
He's really a finesse, probably a stretch 4.
Yeah.
And I used to look at him like, yeah, he's kind of a 5. No, he's a stretch stretch guy. That's really what he is. He's a finesse, bigger player. That's it, a finesse tall guy. And that's what I think is going to be their problem. I want to address what Darius said. He says, but they have a ring already. Is that the ring you wanted if you're a Lakers fan, the bubble ring? And I'm not here to discount. All right, it's going down in the book as they won a championship.
Yeah.
But is that the ring you were really looking for? Well, because here's what I'm gonna say: out of 2 seasons, LeBron missed the playoffs the first season he was here. They just tanked out because he didn't want to play the rest of the season. Then they go into the bubble. They were already sliding, but luckily no one else wanted to play in the bubble, and they got to walk through the West. And then last year, when they had competition, they got bounced out in the first round by the Phoenix Suns.
And then people are going to say
by DeAndre Ayton in them.
People are going to say LeBron was injured.
Who wasn't injured last year?
This how I'm gonna break them 3 seasons down.
The ring is the ring. That's not the ring you were looking for, and these aren't the results you were expecting in year 3 of LeBron being here.
Right.
He missed the playoffs 1 year. They got a bubble ring the second year, and then this year they're not even a middle tier team in the West.
Yeah, I'm gonna break them down. His first year in LA, they started off good. and then he had the groin injury.
Yeah.
Sat out from the groin injury, and then when he came back,
he said playoff mode activated.
Right. He said
and they proceeded to lose like 10 of 12.
Playoff mode activated. They lost 10 of 12, and then he noticed that LeBron cares what he pays attention to what people are saying.
Yeah.
So, LeBron was saying, I guess he was feeling like, all right, we lost 10 of 12. We are in real danger of missing the playoffs. Now, what's one of the arguments that people have against what Jordan and LeBron? Oh, he was getting swept in the playoffs. So LeBron is saying, if I play this season out and we don't make the playoffs, they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
For not making the playoffs while I'm the best player in the game.
Right.
So if I sit out the rest of the way, they're gonna say
that was PR.
Oh, you're hurt. So people gonna say the Lakers only didn't make the play because LeBron was hurt. Got it.
And the Anthony Davis trade didn't go through. They didn't go through.
Got it.
Yeah.
Next season, the bubble year. The bubble year.
Yeah.
We knew at some point it's an Anthony Davis track record. We knew at some point he's gonna get hurt. Played the season. COVID happens. So now you're giving LeBron, not even just LeBron, you're giving the best players in the NBA in the world a 4-month break.
Yeah.
So now when you get to the bubble, they're fresh.
I want people to know I have a very clear memory of what was happening after the All-Star break. The Lakers, they got out to a very hot start.
Yes.
But they started getting gassed. Guys were getting nicked up. LeBron started to slow down. And they were starting to take L's in the West.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what was happening. Because I remember what happened with the Sixers. Ben Simmons was coming off the back injury. Joel Embiid had just got healthy. And they were starting to figure out this Al Horford thing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were starting to make their run. Then COVID hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rudy Gobert rubs a microphone. Now everybody got to go home for 6 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, you know, that's not, if I'm a Lakers fan and we were bad, we watched them tank out and force Kobe off into the sunset without anything competitive. Then we got all these young players and all this draft pick to miss the playoffs 1 year after you've already missed the playoffs for like 4 or 5 straight.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you got your bubble ring off. Okay, it counts. But then this year, you're looking at this, looking at Westbrook and Rondo staring at each other like the Spider-Man, like you. Oh, you're me. And what are we going to do out here? Why are we standing behind this blue line? This is what I'm talking about. This is not what I would want out of my franchise if I'm bringing one of the greatest players in to gut the roster. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it for somebody who's in their late 30s.
Right. And it's injury prone.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And injury prone. And then you're dependent on Anthony Davis, who's even more injury prone than LeBron. Anthony Davis, listen, as much as I killed the Phoenix Suns, if Anthony Davis does play last year and he's healthy, they get rid of the Suns. But then who's really the impact player? Is it LeBron or Anthony? Oh, let me chill. Let me chill.
Listen. That's what I was saying. The bubble year.
Chill, man. Let me chill.
Look, that's what I was saying. The bubble year. Everybody was mad that Giannis got the MVP.
Yeah.
Giannis was killing before the COVID break.
He was.
Happened. So when we got to the bubble, and not only was Giannis killing, Anthony Davis was killing. Anthony Davis led the Lakers in every category besides assists.
He was on a roll.
So when we get to the bubble, everybody forgot about what Anthony Davis was doing. So then when it came down to the MVP votings, everybody saying, oh, LeBron should have won it. How? When he wasn't even the best player on his team that season.
Listen, man, you spitting facts.
So it's like when you go into the Lakers and you're a star player, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get the credit.
We've turned this into the Lakers podcast.
I apologize.
No, we definitely have. This was a good discussion. Let's see. It says, Reggie says, but you're forgetting that the Lakers need players that have a name over players that would actually help them.
Yes.
It's publicity.
Yes.
They love the public signings. They become, what the Dodgers were at one point.
Yes.
What a lot of LA teams do. They started the Clippers. The Clippers are always signing anybody with half a name. They're trying to fill up the seats.
The Clippers sign anybody the Lakers don't want.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's my thing. That's an LA thing. But at this point, LeBron probably has a year, maybe year and a half left of being what we consider a good basketball player, right? Because we see the slowdown. What is the future for the Lakers 3 years from now?
They don't have one.
Yeah.
Horton Tucker,
man. Yo, get your Horton Tucker jerseys out. Yeah, that's what's my man name? What was Omar Epps' dad name in Love and Basketball? McCall. Yo, get your McCall jerseys out. Get your Malik Monk jerseys. They on sale, 90% off, right at the team store.
Trevor Ariza, he travels.
Oh, Trevor Ariza. Oh, so he traveled with the team. That's good, man. They put him up and gave him a meal. 3 hots in the cot for Trevor Ariza.
Yeah,
shout out to him.
The
man.
Lakers doesn't have a future because all of those guys are on 1-year deals.
All those guys are our age.
Yes.
So they're not going to be around. You're pushing 40. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of jazzos. Let's talk about, and I want to talk about the NBA real quick. We were kind of talking about our picks. Who do you think is the top team out west? The Suns are hot right now. So as of right now, I gotta put the Suns and the Warriors at the top of the West.
I got the Warriors
1A, 1B.
I got the Warriors 1 clearly.
I'm gonna put the Suns at 1B because I still don't trust them, but they're hot right now. Like they're so hot, I gotta put them in that conversation.
Yeah,
they won like 12 straight.
Yeah, I got the Warriors 1, and then I got the Suns 2. No 1A, 1B. That's 1 and 2.
Oh man, my thing is too. I think when Clay comes back, though, I think the book is gonna be written on the West. Like it's over for y'all. Bye, because they just cleared up for full practice, and they're saying the week of Christmas he should be back. So I think that's what's going on. But I definitely the Warriors, man. Let's talk about Steph Curry. This has to happen before we cut out of here, right? We are watching, and I don't want people like we're having all this talk about LeBron and these debates about other people. You know, there was discussions about Lillard and everything, but lost in all of this, Steph Curry the other night had 40 points and only 1 made free throw.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was threes, and then he had 1 2-point shot. I think. Are we watching the greatest single effort in these last 2 years ever by a point guard?
Yeah.
We've seen because we didn't watch Oscar Robertson. Yeah, he was fantastic.
We're not just going to limit that to a point guard player.
I've never seen anyone dominate the way he's dominating. And see, people don't like to use the D word when it's a guard, right? When it's a little guy, a little guy in the NBA. But he's as dominant as anyone I've ever seen. Like Jordan, he's Jordan right now, but in a different form.
Yeah.
Mike was doing this to people.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back to, Stephen A said, a lot of guys didn't really fear LeBron, right?
Mm-mm.
If you had the players, you would go up against him and compete with him. And guys did.
Mm-hmm.
He got knocked out the playoffs several times by other top players. Like it happens, right? But Steph Curry is taking on all challenge. He's slaying every dragon that he comes across. I mean, I saw a chart of who leads the league in all of the areas of the court shooting. Steph Curry is leading the league, and they said it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
He's Jerry Ricing the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, there will never be another pure scorer in basketball to ever do what he did again. This is inhuman, and I'm starting to say, if Steph Curry gives us 2 more years of this kind of basketball, right, we can honestly say 2015 to 2023 was the era of Steph Curry because he changed the game forever.
Yes. Steph is playing.
He's a point guard. Mac, he's a point guard.
At this pace right now.
I got ether from Mac. Keep going.
At this pace right now, Steph is playing better than he did his 2 MVP years. We're looking at Steph walking away with another unanimous MVP.
I'm looking at Steph Curry possibly being the GOAT.
The GOAT of
the GOAT point guard of all time.
Over Magic?
Listen, Magic got 5 rings.
Yes.
All right. And if people want to say, oh, well, Steph played with this, Magic played with James Worthy and the all-time leading scorer for pretty much his entire career.
Uh-huh.
Magic came to a team that was already a highly competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not get it twisted or confused. Magic came to a situation where everything was primed and he was ready to go. So he got his 5 rings. I'm not saying not taking nothing away. Steph Curry, Magic was a 6'9" point guard.
Mhm.
Steph Curry is a 6'3"
maybe
point guard. maybe 6'3". Maybe 6'3". Not, he's athletic, but not terribly athletic, right?
Right.
Like he's done nothing off the charts.
Mm-mm.
And when I put in up little scoring point guards, I think he's passing Isaiah Thomas at this point.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Thomas was the real deal.
Yeah.
I think if Isaiah Thomas plays today, he probably looks a lot more like above Damian Lillard, just below or at Steph Curry's level, because he was popping that 3 when that 3 was, not when it wasn't popular to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was putting that ball on the floor, making it happen. But for people who don't think Steph Curry is a point guard, let's look at his career stats. And this is why I'm going to put it to bed why he's in the GOAT point guard conversation. He's averaged for his career 6.5 assists per game and 24.3 points per game, and also 4.6 rebounds for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
How are you not a point guard if you're averaging 6.5 assists a game?
Yeah, that's more than
He says Draymond Green runs the point.
He does.
Listen, man.
He does. He brings the ball up a lot.
Steph Curry this year is averaging 28.4 points and 6.6 assists a game. I think he would average 10 if he was, if he wasn't so great at scoring, because Steph Curry was a killer. He was killing at dropping dimes before that team pretty much came to fruition, and before Clay became who Clay was, and before Iguodala and Harrison Barnes, that whole thing came together. Steph Curry was running that point. He was running that point, man. And I think it just gets overshadowed by legendary scoring. We're watching GOAT scoring right now.
Yo, I had someone tell me KD made Steph Curry.
That is crazy.
I had to sit there and think, and I was like, do you realize Steph won a ring before KD? And the dude was just like, oh, but he took the back seat when that was KD team when he got there. When you bring in a star like that, someone has to be willing to take the back seat.
And this is so Max says Chris Paul averages 10 for his career. So he's assuming he's pretty much saying Steph can't be the GOAT. Chris Paul also only averaged 18 points a game for his career. And I'm not saying Chris Paul can't score, but he averaged 9.4. So it's not 10. It's closer to 9. Mm-hmm. So that's where you can't punish him for being one of the greatest scorers of all time.
Right.
He can do both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I just hate when people punish Steph Curry for being able to score like Jordan and pass like, Rod Strickland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a handle. He's got probably the 3rd best handle I've ever seen, behind Kyrie and probably Zeke.
Yeah.
I'm so serious. On the ball, scoring and breaking down defenses and all that, he's got one of the top 3 handles I've ever seen. We've seen Steph Curry make Chris Paul breakdance like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we seen Steph Curry like terrorize Chris Paul for 3 years. At least 3 years.
Darius Reeves makes a great point. Steph Curry cut Monte Ellis' career short when he was averaging 20 plus.
Yes.
That is a fact.
Yes.
Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, Monte Ellis,
yes.
getting buckets.
Yes.
They said, yo, Monte, you got to go. He had bad ankles, and they chose him over Monte Ellis.
Mm-hmm. I think it was more like they knew they couldn't play 2 small guards. So when they drafted Clay, it was like, Monte, all right, you can go now.
Steph Curry's handles. Iverson's in the conversation of top handles, right? But Steph Curry, listen, Steph Curry has put people on the missing persons list too. And then we could talk about Jamal Crawford. I love Baron Davis' handle. Yeah. I told you that's the smoothest handle I've seen in person.
How wide of a gap is handle wise is Steph from Kyrie?
I think they're right there. Because
Steph is more closer to Kyrie handle wise than Kyrie is closer to Steph as shooting wise.
Exactly. And I've always told people this: the only thing Kyrie had over Steph was finishing at the rim. Kyrie's, I think, is a better finisher, contested layups and things like that.
And it's close. It is close because Steph can finish.
Steph can finish, but Kyrie does it off both hands, and he does it Like Kyrie, he kills people.
Kyrie,
man. Like up under the basket.
They both do it well, but
yeah.
Kyrie's is more smoother.
It's smoother. Yeah. Like that. There's some of them, but once again, Steph is far more consistent at being a great player than Kyrie is.
Yeah,
and he's actually playing basketball. So I'm sorry, Kyrie is protesting nuclear weapons right now somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. He's a hippie. He's Ricky Williams. He's in Bora Bora smoking a Chiba. Shout out to Kyrie Irving wherever you are. But Steph Curry is consistently greater across the board and for his entire career, man. So that's what I got, man. That's what I got. Top team in the East, man. You going with Chicago?
Of course.
James Harden is starting to pick it up a little bit.
Of course.
KD was out the other night. James Harden, I saw him will the Nets to victory.
Yo, a shock. The Wizards are really good.
The Wizards are not really good. The bottom's going to fall out. Once.
The Wizards are good, man.
Listen, they still haven't played the majority of their rivals, right? They're not going to win the Boston series. They're not going to win the Brooklyn series. They're not going to win the Philly series. So that's 9 losses right there. And we're going to send them back to the middle of the pack. I don't even think they're going to win the season series against Chicago, right? I don't, and they're the type of team that's going to split with Charlotte. They're going to lose the season series to Miami. I don't believe in the Washington Wizards. I just think that, they're not that old, so they're fresh right now and they're young and they're running. They got energy right now. But listen,
what you think about the Portland
Trailblazers, man? They're treading water a little bit, but eventually the bottom's gonna fall out. I said December 15th, and Dame is shooting his all-time worst percentage. I think that's a combination of rules and getting old.
He's starting to pick it up.
He's starting to pick it up a little bit, but he's still 23% for the season.
Yeah, he started.
It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. And we'll see. We've got to see what they do in the West.
They right now they're 8th.
Yeah.
Percentage points over the Lakers.
Yeah. I think Washington is a 7-8 team. Do you know whose place they took in the playoff picture? The Pacers. Pacers stink. They stink. I got tired of people hyping up the Pacers. They suck.
They mopped the floor with us last night.
Right. And the Hawks are starting to pick it up too. So that's what I said. Washington got off to a hot start, but they're not going to be able to sustain, man. They're not going to be able to sustain. Not in my book. Not on my watch. But what's up, man? Any last words, man? We miss anything?
Nah, man. We pretty much nailed it.
That's right, man. Yo, shout out to y'all for tuning in, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. That really does a lot for us, man. Indio Media Group. And subscribe to the page on Facebook. We about to get real active on there on the Facebook page. I'm going to be posting it. Dave is going to be posting it. Henny Hardaway, go to him for your daily dose of dirty jokes. But they're not suitable for work. So don't go to Dave's page, Henny Hardaway on Facebook, in front of your boss. Or in some of those jokes, you might lose custody of your kids. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So don't just stay off his page if you at work. All right. But man, we'll be back next week. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yo, and we'll get on Twitter, Reggie. We'll get on Twitter. We're not there yet, man. But D, and y'all, we welcoming y'all. Come up here and chop it up with us.
Yeah,
man.
I
have 2 more mics. We can do 4 people in here. I got extra camera. We got a lot of stuff, man. We chopping it up, man. This is for the real sports fans, dog. So yeah, man, pull up, and we got all the Henny you can drink because I don't drink like that. Tell him, Dave.
Yeah, don't offer nobody the Henny. Man.
We got a full bar here.
Yes,
we
sir.
Got a full bar.
Yep.
That's it. But so shout out to y'all, man. Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 31. We are out.